Welcome back everybody to Veve Gems, where you get periodic videos on top quality NFTs on the Veve app, which I call Veve Gems. Today I will show you the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve along with the portfolio tracker and Veve stats for week number 19. And this is not financial advice. This table shows the cost in gems per MCP point. In general, any value that is 7 gems and below is considered a good value. And the comics that stand out on this table include the rare variants of Journey into Mystery Annual #1, Groot FA, Nick Fury FA, and Fantastic Four #12. This table shows the percentage supply still available on the market for the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve. In general, the lower the percentage, the higher the demand for such comic is. And the ones that stand out on the list include Fantastic Four #1, the common variant, Marvel Comics #1, and Sergeant Fury #1. We can also notice on the list that there are very high percentages for Journey into Mystery Annual #1, the reason for which this comic has been recently dropped and hasn't been fully absorbed by the market, and to a lesser extent Amazing Fantasy #15 as well has relatively high percentages. This table shows the percentage upside potential for each of the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve. In general, any percentage that is 300 and above is considered a good value. For those of you interested in the secret rare comics, the ones that have a good percentage upside potential include Fantastic Four #12 and Nick Fury. This table compares the current prices of the top 10 undervalued comics. In general, any value that is 7 gems and below is considered a good value, and we can see the ones that stand out on the list include the common and uncommon variants of Hercules first appearance, Groot first appearance, Nick Fury, and Fantastic Four #12. This table shows the total editions minted for these top 10 comics on the list. If we look at the last column, we see the total editions, and looking at the first column, we see the number of editions under the common variant. Then the next column, the number of editions for the uncommon variant, then the rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. The factors on the right side of the table show you how rare is that variant compared to the common variant. So looking at #1, Marvel Comics #1, the uncommon is 8 times more rare than the common. In other words, there is 8 commons for each one uncommon, and there's 16 commons for each rare. There's 20 commons for each ultra rare and 80 commons for each secret rare. So this table will give you some perspective of how rare each variant is compared to the common mid-size. This table shows this week's addition to the investor's portfolio. So we have the top 10 comics ranked and the variants of those comics as well as the prices of these comics today. And at the bottom we have the total amount invested for this week's investor's portfolio. This table shows the performance of the addition to the investor's portfolio that was selected last week. So we have the list of the top 10 undervalued comics, the variants, the prices last week and the prices today, and the change for the week. So in total we have lost 32.71 gems for the week, or a negative 5.5%. This table shows the cumulative performance of the investor's portfolio over the last 18 weeks. In total, we have invested 13,532.68 gems, currently valued at 9,803 gems. So that gives us a total loss of 3,729.68 gems. Looking at the right side of the slide, we can see that so far we have a total of 180 comics in which we invested, and the breakdown of how many comics were purchased for each rarity. This table shows the weekly Veve social media stats. So looking at week number 19, Veve has lost 492 followers on Twitter, 1,000 followers on Discord, 8 members on Facebook, and 373 followers on Instagram. So looking at the total row above, over the last 19 weeks, on Twitter, Veve has lost almost 1.5% of the followers, 3.5% on Discord, gained only 0.78 Facebook members, and lost almost 5.5% followers on Instagram. This table shows the weekly Veve ImmutaScan stats on the blockchain. So looking at week number 19, Veve has minted 44,741 new tokens for the week, which is a 0.59% increase for the week. And Veve also added 191 new unique owners for the week. It's one of the slowest weeks compared to the last 19 weeks. And this gives us a TMO ratio of 11.67, which means for each unique owner, we currently have 11.67 tokens. And as long as this ratio keeps going up, that means the unique owners are not keeping up with the tokens minted, which could drive the prices sideways and to the downside. This is a chart representation of the statistics that were discussed in the previous slides. So for the last 18 weeks, we can look at the blue line, which is the tokens minted growth, which stands around 9%. And for the orange line, which is the growth in unique owners, which is around 1% for the same period, which clearly shows us that there's an oversupply of tokens and unique owners are not really catching up with the new tokens minted. And looking at the downward trending lines, these are the social media followings for Veve. So all of them are trending downwards. The Twitter followers, Discord followers, and Instagram followers are all trending down, with the worst being Instagram, close to 5.5% decrease over the last 18 weeks. This brings us to the final slide, which is the key takeaways from this presentation. So for the short term, it is obvious that the economy is in a recession, and the 18-week tokens growth has been around 9%, while for the same period, the unique owners growth has been only 1.15%. And at the same time, most of the social media metrics of Veve are trending down. And at the same time, the NFT supply and minting is far exceeding the demand. So this brings us to the conclusion that values will keep moving sideways and to the downside in the short term. Now, looking at the long-term view, the economy is expected to rebound in 2023 or 2024, which is around a year from today. And during this period, we expect token burning is supporting values, and mass marketing, which is expected in Q1 2023, is expected to bring in new users. And the TMO ratio should start to go down for values to be supported. The same thing for social media followings. They need to reverse the downward trend, and that is expected once the economy rebounds. And a key important aspect for the long term is the token utility and gamification, which will support values in the future, and also the future NFT supply and minting is key, because oversupply will suppress values regardless of the catalysts mentioned above. So from a long-term perspective, the expected values really depend on Veve's future strategy and the utility added to the tokens. For those of you interested in the ranking methodology and key assumptions used to arrive to the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, you can always check my video on July 30th, 2022, where you'll see all these details. In addition, you can check my Patreon page where I do the ranking of all comics on Veve using the same analysis that you will see in this video, as opposed to only the top 10 undervalued comics, which I update weekly on this channel. Here is a snapshot of my collection on the Veve app. You are welcome to follow me on the app by searching the Avengers logo edition number 100. It is under the Disney Golden Moments brand. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. As you see in my previous videos, I always respond to each and every question. If you got value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe button so that you can keep informed every week when I post updates. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.